Hello everybody and welcome back. The second best of three of the day is going to be Endpoint taking on Nonames. We're starting off with Coastal, the pick of Nonames, and that could be interesting. And going on to Manor and Liberation as the final map. We haven't seen Liberation yet today. Looking forward to seeing that coming out.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising because it is one of those standard maps. It's usually a map that all teams feel comfortable on, but I guess that could also be kind of a reason that we didn't see it because teams maybe don't want to go for quite as much of that middle ground.
Yeah, they're trying to get that one up on the other team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bit of a battalion meme. It's a team called One Up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the maps. The choices, of course, Manor House being a pick of Team Endpoint. Now, to talk a little bit about Team Endpoint, they're a really, really solid team. They've got a really good history, a resounding history across the history of Battalion. And indeed before that, back in COD 4. But to talk more recently, back at I-62, you had Kostya and Mark over on Avenue. They came in second place, narrowly losing out to the old Endpoint lineup that they've now joined. You've also got Reflexer, I believe, was 1-up at the time. Quite a very well-known team. And indeed, Sind and Replan from Penta, and they were a very prominent team as well at the beginning. I think we're actually going live into the game as No Name have actually got out Gevers on one default weapon to allow some smoke in towards that mid area. Endpoint looking to make some progress there on the allied side, already opening things up there. Pink Dog, of course, is going to be Mark. Oh, just everybody's getting kills right now. Leaving it onto Zinjini and Niso. There's a bit of a team kill going on there. Someone wasn't happy with Mark.
Yeah, I think it was actually Cinda who took him down, so a little bit awkward, but I don't think it's going to affect the round too much. As we can see, it does get cleaned up. Reflexer and Replan come in to go ahead and deal with things. And it is only that single casualty for Endpoint, and as we said, it was a team kill that came in, so not the greatest of starts for Nonames, not able to find anything at all in that previous round. Of course, that means they don't get any extra tokens, going to be stuck down to just the Gevers coming into this round now. No utility at all, not a single smoke nor nade. And of course, over on the other side, Endpoint, they prioritize that. They have 3 grenades, 4 smokes, and that's going to give them a lot of room to work with to start this one off.
And coming over towards the B-bomb side early on, the Allies looking to take control there. The smokes go down in mid. This is a brilliant idea. They're faking out the fact that they're taking the mid control. The Axis have no information there. Now they're making their way over towards that B-bomb side. Already in there is Mark as he's getting super aggressive. Oh, but the kills swing in for Nonames. Jazz picks up 2 as Zinjini follows up with one of his own. And they're looking for even more as Zinjini gets a little bit aggressive. Thinking about peeking over. Almost hits the shot there. As Niso picks himself up a nice frag from the mid-house. It leaves only Reflexer left alive. And now, there we go again. That's going to be 11 for 11 as the second round is won out by the team that lost the first. And that's going to be an interesting thing to talk about the No-Names lineup in general. There's obviously a little bit of controversy around one of the players, Niso, you saw on cam just there. There's some awkward cheating accusations going around, and this is kind of his opportunity to step things up and show everybody that he can perform just as well offline as he does online.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen him on stream yet. From what I've heard, though, he has been performing fairly well. They won their first game up against the American lineup team, Sentinel, if I remember correctly, is that the name? So yeah, they've got off to a pretty solid start going up against Endpoint. Now this is really their chance to try and prove their worth because, of course, Endpoint, formerly Penta, they were the winners at the previous LAN event for Battalion 1944, and as we can see, already going to be a very quick round coming in. An attempted rush towards this B-bomb site for Endpoint, not going to go as well as they would have hoped. Already brought down to that 5 on now 1. As it's only Reflexer who remains to try and get anything done at all in this round. A couple of kills would be nice. Some extra tokens in the bank for himself. That's not going to be easy because now his position, it is known. He's trapped in towards the yellow house and he'll be pushed down and finished off. 2 rounds now in a row where Nonames haven't actually taken a casualty.
Indeed, Nonames are really snacking up those tokens right now, investing into full utility as would be expected. As Endpoint possibly even going to contemplate going for just a couple of carbines. Not really worth investing too heavily into this round when you have, of course, got the loss bonus building up for them. They'll be on that 3 token bonus after this round, so they want to get those full Garans, perhaps a couple nades as well. And indeed, you will see everybody with the exception of Reflexer taking out a grease gun. Replan's taken down early by a nice nade coming in from Nonames. They've got a second coming over towards post as well. Not going to land any kills this time, though. as they slowly inch their way towards the A bomb site. A smoke is still in their possession, so they can actually cross over here without being spotted by the Axis side and pretty much get onto that side for free. And at that point, those grease guns could be really dangerous. Reflexer was going towards B on his own with the Carbine, not able to get much done, but KN is stepping things up, already picking up 2. Miso to finish things off there on a third. That's 3-1 as Nonames are flying ahead here, but it's all right. I was talking to Endpoint before this, although Mark looked pretty irritated there. They've said, speaking of Coster, he was saying that they have a lot of experience across Battalion, across COD 4. They're all legends from back in COD 4, and they know that, you know, even if the other team is 6-1 up, if they're 12-1 down, it doesn't matter. They're always going to know that they can come back into it. You know, those consecutive wins are always possible. Less possible if you leave the bomb and spawn. So Mark's going to go back. Good team player, Mark. He's going to go and pick that bomb back up.
I love his homemade vest. I don't know if you've seen, but he just ripped the sleeves off his Endpoint jersey because he usually wears like a white
There he
beater.
is.
Yeah, we actually haven't been zoomed in on him currently. Look, no sleeves, he just tore it. It is a brilliant way to go about things.
I believe it was Sind who styled it for him.
Oh, really?
Cut it,
so
yeah. Of course, he did want it though. Of course, we saw him in the wife beater over at the Gallantry LAN in an iconic interview afterwards, where he told us what his thoughts are on the competition here. And by the looks of it, the competition are handing it to him right now. 3-1. Nonames are getting off to a pretty convincing start. But now Endpoint have got that full buy up, and Replan's already coming in on the scope to find himself an opening kill. But Niso's coming up behind, finds a nice headshot on the Reflexer. But it's returned once more by the Allies. Back and forth we go. But now that 3v3 going to become more difficult for Nonames because unfortunately that bomb is down on B. And so the retake is going to have to go down. Mark with the concentration. See him scanning his screen, but it's Replan to open things up. Kostya in a good position as well. Tommy in hand, does a bit of damage. But no kill to be connected, but he's doing his job. He's keeping them back, Dean. I mean, that time is running down. Sinjini has to wait until he's regen to go for another peek.
At this point, I was gonna say it may just be worth saving, but it looks like off the back of that kill, they may just try and push in. Problem is, only 12 seconds remaining on that clock. Replan in a position where he can try and just run that down even further. And yeah, I don't think it's just going to be possible at this point. Likely that they're going to try and just at least save over that weaponry. And then maybe find some kills off the back of this one because currently positioned up close. There was a player just on his close left, but no other casualties going to be taken in this round. Everyone able to survive over. 2 weapons at least to be saved for Nonames. And that will allow for them to have a very solid buy coming into this round. But there's Endpoint getting themselves that second round, showing that they're definitely capable of picking up these rounds on the Allied side. And now coming into this one, a double scope setup on Reflexer and Replan. Is that something that they wanted to go for, or is that a bit of a miscommunication?
I'm really not sure right now. I mean, I've seen both of these players pick up a scope before, and they can certainly hold their ground with it, but I don't think a double scope setup is something I've heard is all too commonly, or indeed experienced, is all too commonly used, especially on the Allied side. Very unusual buy, and already Reflexer is going to fall as aggression comes through on B. Kostya looking for the spam, not going to find it. That's a 2-man advantage for the Axis already, and they're getting a little bit of map control. As you can see, Jazz making his way in towards the upper part of B. Jazz, the previous Fate esports player, not able to pick up all too much. A good friend of Kaiserson, our other caster. Yeah, so he's hoping he'll do well here. And already, I mean, his position's known, so that's one little disadvantage. But they have got that 2-man up, which is going to help them. There's a pretty solid hold here. We've got mid under the control of the Axis. 2 towards the B house, and 1 sitting on that A bomb site. That's going to be Niso with the scope. Just looking out, trying to find himself some players to pick off.
He just needs to be careful. He doesn't want to fall here because just having this position is so strong. He can be a real thorn on their side if they do want to come over towards B. But at this point, it doesn't look like it's really going to matter too much. It's only Mark who remains. Gone ahead and retrieved himself one of those scoped rifles and found a frag in the process of doing so. And actually does find a second, but I still wouldn't expect him to get much more done. There's just not enough time. And his goal right now to just try and save these weapons over Nonames themselves. Probably just want to ensure that they don't lose anymore, because they themselves don't have a great economy. As you can see, tokens not spectacular, but actually Jazz comes in and just goes ahead and finishes him off. Was that like through the corner of the cart or something?
I guess so. It didn't come up as a wall bang.
Yeah,
oh, you know, he could probably see his foot sticking out the back. of the cart because he was prone, of course. So your feet stick out pretty far. Like it's a full height model.
Yeah, and the models
horizontally.
were made taller recently as well, weren't they?
Indeed. So perhaps he didn't know his feet were visible there. Not going to be too happy about being taken down with the scope in his hands as well as the M1 Garand. Now, I don't think Mark's a player that particularly uses the scope. I haven't seen him deploy it before, but I'm sure he's far from incompetent with it. And a push coming up close here. They know there's a scope in play outside B, so they're going to push in, but Zinjini is there to do some damage. Jazz tries to get a little bit aggressive, and he's punished. That's a token given away, and a Gewehr picked up. Gewehr with the potential for extra damage was all too short-lived as KN took him down. And it's worth noting, I mean, almost every player, and in fact, I'd be confidently saying every player on this server is pretty recognizable. Perhaps Peng Doggy, not so much, but that is, of course, Mark the Horner. And these guys are all very well versed. We've seen them all make their plays. They've all had their time. Jazz over on Fade Esports. Niso and Mara have been together quite a while, and they've been doing a really, really nice job. We've seen them step it up throughout qualifiers and online tournaments, and Zinjini and KN as well. I'm not too sure, but I believe this might be, with the exception of Jazz, the first LAN event for all these players. I could be wrong about that. I think
perhaps.
Certainly for Niso and Mara.
Yeah, not sure about the rest though. Zinjini and KN, they have played LANs elsewhere. But for now in this one, this LAN going fairly well to start off this game anyway, because it's brought into that 5-on-3. Nonames looking quite dominant so far on this Axis side, putting up a great defense, and Endpoint in every round basically have been left on the back foot. They've never been able to work with an advantage. Once again, that is the case. Sindip towards the Manor House. It's, I believe, Niso who's pushed up close in the bottom level of that indeed. Looks like he could definitely find some contact quite soon, but for now at least Endpoint, they've slowed things down. They're just waiting to see if any opportunities are going to arise. And one will eventually for Replan, but still with another casualty coming in elsewhere for the Endpoint side, they do still remain with a two-man disadvantage.
It's going to be hard to work back from that, but doing their best approaching that A-bomb site. Mark's been spotted. He knows someone's going to peek him from the side sooner or later as Replan covers and finds himself one on that bomb site. They don't know that Niso's here. He's got his STG deployed, the boom gun. So he's looking to find some kills. He doesn't manage to connect them initially, falls back, making that passive play. I like it, but now he's going to try hunt them in. They're running on the bomb site. He's coming up. He knows they're not planning anymore because Zinjini takes the head clean off. And a nice opening for them. And see, they're happy about that. Sitting 6 for 2 now. They're really stomping out these Axis side rounds, and I think it's about time for Endpoint to start picking up some over on that Allied side. Their wallet isn't going to be stacked all too much for very much longer. This is a very hefty investment on the Allied side, and one that they need to be walking away with. Over on the Axis, though, they're surviving with quite a few players in a lot of these rounds, so they're not suffering all too much, getting full utility onto everybody. And lots of rifles, with backups as well. And that really helps if you have a backup weapon, even like a Thompson, to help out your M1 Carbine now, or indeed a Gewehr if you save it over. Because these weapons are quite limited. Already you see Kostya sitting on 21 bullets remaining in the round. With a new clip size and backup ammunition, it really punishes you for spamming through. And of course, spams are quite important in a game like this. We've seen them come through with quite a lot of kills. The most memorable so far has been Max Strafe. He found 3 kills through a smoke. All headshots as well. There's a beautiful spray down over on Manor House. But here's 6 to 2. It's a 4 versus 4 trades coming in early on. The utility's been used up on the Endpoint side. They've only got 1 smoke left on Kostya, so they're making their way towards B, where only Jazz is going to be holding down now. He's isolated, but he has got that dangerous Garand, the 2-shot body shot weapon deployed. Already connects himself into 1, looking for more. Runs out of ammunition. He's going to switch to the Gewehr and try to find at least 1 more. Gets it, and can he find even more than that? Making it away. Kostya's low HP. This round has been torn apart by Jazz, holding down that site perfectly. It's 7 to 2.
I think Mark's drinking water.
He is, and that makes a big difference to what we saw at Gallantry. It's worth noting that Endpoint didn't lose a single map at Gallantry after the group stages. Okay. And in the group stages, I mean, I think we both remember how serious they were taking them. Mark was on about 8 pints of beer.
Yeah, that's what surprised me.
A couple of hours in, but
that's why I was surprised he should drink water, because I saw him pick up a pint.
He did say that we're you know, he's here at the Blitzkrieg Masters. It's 50,000 on the line. He's taking this seriously. So there's no drinking. There's no messing about. They did only lose one map in the group stages anyway, so they were super strong over there at Gallantry. But now this is their opportunity to continue that win streak, to keep on the dream of the 2-0s. And already they've lost a man on their way towards this side. Jazz, once again, look at this position he's gotten himself into. They're not going to expect this, having already cleared the house. He's going to be coming out now to do some damage. Oh, but he's been spotted at that point. Unlucky. Good play by Jazz, but he is shut down. 4 versus 3. Now things become risky as the bomb site control is mostly in the hands of the Allies.
This time around, Endpoint finally finding success on that bomb site. Jazz, even with finding 1 kill, sadly wasn't able to stay alive. The previous round was a bit of a miracle that he did actually escape with his life, but this time around it wasn't allowed. Niso was left all alone in that 1-on-4, and he will eventually be finished off after only finding himself 1 more frag. So it is going to be the 3rd round for Endpoint, but can they start to consistently put these rounds onto the board now? This is definitely their chance, because they had actually managed to keep the economy of Nonames quite modest. Coming into this one, they're buying what they can, but I don't think it's going to be amazing. I think they were averaging just around 3 or 4 tokens maybe, so there will definitely be a couple of weaker weapons. We have a bit of a pause coming in. And I presume this is... I was going to say I'd presume it's a tactical pause for Endpoint, because they want to make sure they start getting more rounds, but it could also be Nonames, considering they're working with such a weak economy.
Yeah, for sure, but I think they've mostly bought up over on the no-name side. Over on Endpoint, they haven't really invested fully into utility just yet, so maybe discussing exactly how they want to disperse those extra tokens, or if they want to disperse them at all. With 3 rounds on the board, it becomes pretty important to stop making mistakes. You've got to start clocking up these rounds, or no-names will get too great of a start. I mean, we discussed it before. Over here on Coastal, you're probably looking at about 9 rounds. On the Axis side, that's really all you want to give away. And so no-names are already close to that scoreline, with still another 5 to go. 7-3. We're going to be starting off. The utility is being bought up now by the Endpoint side. Looks like that was what they were discussing. They were holding off on that full investment until they could have a little chat about it. And now the smoke's being deployed early, and indeed the nades. They've got 1 left on Mark, as Costa Reflexor and Replan still have the smokes. It looks like movement over towards the B bomb site for now, but no commitment just yet as Costa gets aggressive, finds 1, looking for more. The damage is done, but nothing's going to fall through from it because he's also low HP, so he can no longer pursue those leads. Nice angle being held by Sind. He's been spotted out though after doing a little bit of damage. Has to duck off, and it's the trades and damage here is almost perfectly 50-50 until Costa comes in with a nice double. And now all of a sudden it's a 4v2. Massive chance for Endpoint. They just need to stay alive. Sind is isolated and pushed down by Niso after Zinjini lit him up. But it's a 3v2 retake, which is going to be difficult to overcome on the Axis. Oh no, Zinjini finds a nice angle onto Replan. Now it's a 2v2. Now it's winnable. Still a smoke in play on Costa. I believe he picked that up in the middle of the round. With the bomb down and time ticking away, Niso and Zinjini need to make their way into this bomb site. They're running out of time.
Yeah, time definitely becoming a little bit of an issue, but they do still have 25 seconds remaining. As you can see, 1 player positioned behind that statue and the other on the steps. Niso able to jump in and get the initial kill, leaving it all on the Reflexor, and he pulls it off. The 1-on-2 to allow for round number 4 to be obtained by Endpoint. 3 now in the difference, and with that one going over towards Endpoint, you wonder now what the buy is going to be like for No-Names. It's decent in terms of the economy. They have 4 tokens on a couple of players, and then they have a few averaging just around 2. So it's not going to be perfect, but they are going to fully invest into this one.
Yeah, indeed they are. And you would expect that. I mean, with 7 rounds on the board, you've got a really, really nice opportunity to fly ahead at this point. Like, if you can claim those 9 rounds, you're already happy with how things have gone. And then the bonus to potentially get an 11-4 or a 10-5 scoreline, that's certainly still on the cards, considering how well No-Names will be doing in these buy rounds. Already you see KN's going to be opening things up. Looking pretty solid by taking down Sind. He's kind of been lurking over towards the A bomb site, so it doesn't give too much information away. They don't know the coast has been completely overrun by these allied players, but Niso's still going to be playing a little bit passive there. They're really desperate to find that pick on the A bomb site. They kind of know that it's been not so heavily defended a lot of the time, but unfortunately Jazz has already gotten aggressive on B. He's coming up behind, finding himself an opening. KN's there too, finding headshots, and this round is falling apart right now for Endpoint as Kosti gets traded out. It's only Replan. He's got to find a 1 versus 4.
I would definitely not fancy his chances, Mitch. And exactly as I say that, Zinjini going to go ahead and finish him off at the SDG. An 8th round to be found for Nonames, and it's still a fairly close game, I'd say, Mitch. Even though Nonames are currently leading by 4, Endpoint, of course, being on that allied side, it is going to be a little bit harder for them to try and actually pick those rounds up. Their goal going to be to try and bring it up towards 6 if they can. 7 would be ideal, but that's definitely going to be difficult. And as you said, Nonames, they want at least 9.
Yeah, they do, and considering how well they've been doing in these buy rounds with the full utility behind them as well, it's going to be very doable for them. You can see already Endpoint have only got 3 smokes coming into this round. That's going to be very difficult to manage because they don't have the ability to find those opening kills with the nades, those free openers. But Zinjini certainly does as he drops a nade over towards the barrels. Oh, Replan narrowly survives. He's on the bomb side, but he's an easy kill through that smoke on half HP. Just 1 or 2 bullets needed to connect there, and he'll be eliminated. This is awkward. Dancing around the smoke. Jazz finds 1 kill. He's not going to find any more as he's taken down. The Gavera picked up. Now things may be possible for Endpoint in a 3v3. Reflexer comes in with a kill as well. Nades being returned by the Axis, but nothing to be found as Zinjini misses his shot there with the SDG. The player peeking around the corner, leaning. He's not going to be able to get up to all too much more here. His teammate has got a smoke, but that's not going to be the most useful coming in for this retake because the bomb being planted right now, a smoke going down would probably just help their retreat, and indeed it cuts off KN from that angle completely. Makes it very hard for him to push around here. I feel like that smoke has actually harmed his retake more so than helped it, and he's going to be spammed down through it. 8-5. 5 rounds already picked up by Endpoint. They do need to find at least 1 more, but it's going to be hard. Nonames will... Oh, never mind. I was going to say probably take an eco here. Give over that 6th round, fight for 9, but they're going all the way for 10. Niso getting stacked up on tokens. He's got a scope, and Gavera is being taken out on the rest of the team. And Niso's a very strong individual player, so it's not going to be uncommon to see him getting those tokens stacked over towards him. We haven't seen Nonames before, and it's also worth noting, Nonames have never scrimmed against Team Endpoint. Again, comes back to the what I was saying previously about some of the cheating accusations against the team. Of course, on LAN, there's no way to cheat. So hopefully this will clear his name because Niso's having a really good performance so far.
But yeah, you can see his team definitely have that trust in him as well because they were willing to go ahead and stack his economy up allow for him to get the scope rifle. But already Jazz has fallen. It's going to be a difficult hold towards this B bomb site, and as we can see, so far the majority of the frags going to be going in favor of Endpoint. Mara, the only one who was able to find anything at all for Nonames. And it continues that way until the end of the round because it is going to be Endpoint. Kosjay specifically picking up 3 frags in that round and a 6th put onto the board. For Endpoint is now 7 looking to be pretty likely considering the buy into this round not going to be perfect from the Nonames side. And it's just the Gaveras that they have to work with. And also not a lot of nades, only that 1 on Tamara, meaning if he uses that early on to try and find the frag, they won't have that to deny the bomb plant later on. Or the other way around, if he was to try and wait until towards the end of the round, he won't have that to try and open things up.
Indeed, this is not going to be the most ideal buy for the Axis, but it's certainly still going to be workable with those Gaveras having that one-shot headshot ability. Nades coming in, already going to do some damage to Zinjini. KN's trading, though. And he's doing more than just trading. He finds a man advantage for the Axis side. As Niso's getting a little bit froggy towards the back of the A site. He's not able to get all too much done there, but Reflexer is taking out KN, bringing it back to an even 3v3. Jazz has gotten aggressive once more on B. This aggression's really working out for him so far. And you can see they don't actually know he's gone back into the T room, so faking out that little bit of information, really helping them out. But oh, I was going to say, Jazz was contemplating going towards the spawn, which is of course being watched by Replan on the scope. As Reflexer picks up a scope himself, we once again see that double sniper setup, which really isn't that common. I would venture to say it's the first time I've seen it done in MU2. Certainly before, some players, when you had lots of sniper tokens, you'd go for it, but not common since you've had to pay for them instead of a rifle. And the 1v3 from Niso is going to be hard to pick up. Bomb being planted on the other side of the map. Oh, that's awkward, but he finally connects the shots on the reflexor, picking up that lovely little golden skin.
Yeah, 1v2. Has to go for this, of course, would have been the final round and a half, so he is going to try and look for it. Already been spotted out and taking quite a lot of damage. It's Koshche who's playing a little bit further back there, just spotting it out. Smoke going to be thrown in, actually. I think that's going to land right on top of the bomb, so he may just try and stick this one. I don't think it landed quite on top of the bomb as he would have hoped. It doesn't matter either way, because Koshche's there to go ahead and finish him off. So 7 rounds at the end of the half for Endpoint on the Allied side. That's something they can be very happy with. Not even just normally, but of course when you look at the context, it was at one point 8-3, I think, for Nonames. We've seen Endpoint pull it back quite convincingly, picking up those 4 rounds in a row.
Indeed, that was a very important comeback for Endpoint, because if they didn't manage to close in that scoreline, Nonames would be in a really nice position coming over to the Allied side. But now, of course, Nonames going to have to fight a bit of an uphill battle. Only 8 rounds on the board as Endpoint take over the favorite side here. But you got to remember, this is Nonames' pick. They chose this map, and so presumably they have got some form of strategy prepared. There's no shortage of Endpoint footage from them playing over at the Gallantry LAN and indeed online. And so they might have an idea as to how these guys play. Already we're seeing trades come in, but look how low Replan is. That's an easy kill to pick up. Somehow he's not being taken just yet as Sin finds not even the trade really. As Replan now on full health, it's going to be the 4 versus 3. Endpoint.
It seems like Nonames for now have just been forced to kind of slow this down. Focus mostly over towards B. They've left, of course, one player back being Niso to hold the mid push, make sure no flanks can come in. Zinjini and Jazz are going to look to try and find these actual openings onto the B bomb site. And at least so far, Endpoint, they're playing this quite passively. They know they have control of the bomb, and they can just set up this crossfire to try and hold it down. And Zinjini, of course, hoping that some mistakes will be made, and there may actually be a couple coming in. Koshche with a bit of a peek ends up taking some damage. Finally, I think this crossfire now going to be given that opportunity for the Endpoint players. It's Replan who takes himself too, leaving all of the load onto the shoulders of Niso. He's not going to be able to find anything out of it. Finished off by Sinda. Endpoint going to go ahead and equalize the scoreline at 8-8.
They're going to be happy
now that we worry about Mitch.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're going to be happy picking up the first round, but the thing is this going to be 12 for 12. Time and time again, we see that second round going over to the alternate team. But Nonames here on the Allied side, getting that full investment. Speaking to Fi earlier, of course, he said that he feels that's due to just overconfidence on the part of the team that wins. You also have, of course, got that economy situation building up where you have pretty much the same weapons, just really the nades that make a difference. So it is sometimes that much easier on the Axis side to close out that second round, but so far that hasn't been our experience. Smoke goes down, Sin's in a good position, finds himself one. There's Kostya, this could be it, Dean. Penta, or Pengdog rather. Oh, my Penta was in my head, finds a double. I used to play for Penta, of course. Zinjini getting taken down, there it is. Finally, Dean. The curse has been broken. The second round has been won out by the same crowd that won the first.
Yeah, it only took, I think,
12.
6 maps.
Yeah, 12 halves it took for this to finally happen, and it's been Endpoint to shut things down, hitting those shots.
Well, if anyone, you would perhaps expect it to be Endpoint, being one of the top teams, of course.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, you've got a... This is literally the old Penta lineup, of course, swapped over to Endpoint. And they were always a solid team, even back when it was just Sind and Replan. They were with Froster at the time.
Quick double kill from Reflex there. Want to go ahead and take the life of Niso and KN, two players who have been playing quite well for that no-name side. Mark able to get himself one trade, but that's all he's allowed before being shut down in return. Mark able to chime in, and now it's the 4v2 already. Nonames put down into a heavy disadvantage. Jazz and Zinjini, where are they going to try and actually take this one is the question. The bomb, of course, being in their possession. If they could at least find a bomb plant, that'd be nice, get those extra tokens. And as we can see currently, the weaker side of the map would probably be over towards B, but even then the problem is there is the 2 players, but they are a little bit more separated out. One of them pushed up into the yellow house, One now making his way around towards mid, which does give a bit of an opportunity here. Zinjini able to walk up towards the bomb site itself, but I don't think he realizes it's clear. He's going to hang around for now, and Replin on that flank finally going to be able to go ahead and finish it off. 10-8, double digits for Endpoint already, and they're beginning to run away with a little bit of a lead here on this Axis side.
Yeah, indeed. This has been a strong start from Endpoint, but we saw them come back over on their allied side, so it's never out of the question for Nonames. Only 2 rounds behind at this point, and they've got the tokens invested into this one, with the utility coming out alongside a sniper, this time on Zinjini instead of Niso. Over on the allied side, deep nades coming in from the Axis. That B1 might just do some damage from Sind. Damage it does, but no kill to be connected. The boost coming up over the van is going to be dangerous as the allies contemplate getting that push in. Although no, there goes Sind. He's already going to be dropped. They should know there's another player there, but they don't. And so somehow the kills just swing in for the Axis. Obviously didn't know that was a boost. Now puts us in a great position. 4 versus 1. It's only Zinjini on the scope. He's cut off by a smoke as well. Nice shot to be taken onto Mark, but there are still another 3 to find. Oh!
Actually got the tag with that shot there through the corner of the stall.
That was dirty.
He wasn't able to find the frag. Taken down and thrown by Reflexer afterwards. Endpoint really beginning to run away with this one now.
Yeah, indeed. 8-11. And they've got the economy built up now. They're going to have the nades, and we know on the Axis side the big difference those nades can make. Heading over to Manor House after this, similar to the previous best of 3. Finishing over on Lib if we do need a 3rd map. And right now these teams are pretty closely matched, but it is Endpoint on the Axis side, walking away with a lot of these rounds. Niso in a good position here with his scope. Not quite able to connect anything just yet, as Endpoint take somewhat of a passive hold there. They still managed to lose 2 players early on to Zinjini and Jazz. And with that 5 versus 3, a great advantage comes over to the allied side.
One frag to be brought back by Jado. Pushed up onto that mid-house, and I was gonna say perhaps a chance for a frag to be found over on the other side of the map, but Mark does get caught off guard and taken down. But that now it's only Kosje and Cinda who remain. Kind of awkward positions, but actually Kosje gonna be able to get himself one. Trades out towards the Thompson to make sure he's effective at close range, and actually manages to take himself a 3rd kill. So he's brought this back into an equal situation in terms of the manpower continues to push forward, and eventually will be shut down, leaving a 1v2 a hand for Cinda now. Is he going to be able to pull this off is the question. Carnatier, he spots out the first player making his way into the mid-house. And he actually maybe given the opportunity again, gets the shot on towards Jazz, leaving all of it into the hands of Niso now. 1v1. One that is very much needed by Nonames, you do say, of course, because Endpoint haven't taken 8 rounds in a row at this point. They're leading the way heavily with the momentum.
Indeed, Niso needs to get this bomb plant in. There it is. But now he's got to be careful. He has no idea where Sind is. There's 3 angles which he can approach the bomb site from. The tank, the ladder, or the stairs. And it looks like the stairs is going to be the choice. At least it did. He's gone up on top of the boxes, actually. Niso yet to hear any sound cues. Oh, he silently made his way up there. That is dangerous, but he's given it away. Those shots ring loud and clear. Niso leaves the stairway as he slowly makes his way back up. There it is. The kill to be found as Niso wins out the round 11-9, closing in the scoreline. Closer and closer. As you can see, he's quite happy winning out that clutch. An intense moment. I mean, 11-9 right now, as he's going to save over that scope. And you're going to see Endpoint having to force into this round now on the back of that. At least they're able to get a full buy. And they've got... It's only really their utility that's lacking. 2 smokes and a nade. But if used correctly, that nade could get them a sweet opening. Yet to really connect anything with those grenades, though.
Which is surprising, because at least in the previous game between CRG and Avenue, we've seen a lot of grenade kills. And it hasn't really been the case in this one so far. But of course, whenever we mention the grenades, Mitch, that's when it actually does work out, because Mara goes ahead and takes down Mark with that nade early on. Quick man advantage to be claimed for Nonames, and Endpoint going to be put onto the back foot. The round haven't just barely begun, but Replin, it's a nice shot on towards Jazz with that with the Gavare to go ahead and bring it back into the 4v4. A bit of a slower round now going to be coming in from Nonames. Happy enough to slow things down in this 4v4, and Reflexer exposes himself to Niso.
Kostya making his way over towards this bomb site, though, has been undetected so far. They're coming down to check it, but they don't expect him to be there. Already finding one opening. He's on the bomb site, though, doesn't expect a second to be lying down in the corner. 2 versus 3 develops. 36 seconds on the clock. We need to see Endpoint winning out this round. They've fully invested into this. They'll only get 2 tokens at the end. So this is going to be very important, but Sin has been spotted out. Replan does find 1 kill, though. Nobody now remains on the bomb site, but Niso picks off Sin as he makes his way towards that bomb site. Replan just going for the defuse, going to be taken out from behind by Mar. And there it is, 11-10. Nonames securing themselves a very solid victory. As their economy builds up, the buys are not going to have to come in all too heavily. Niso and Mar being able to donate over. But over the Endpoint side, I think we're probably just going to see those carbines in play. Or Gewehr's, rather. Of course, on the Axis side. The 1 token weapons. And indeed, just 2 Gewehr's and 3 Popcorns. That's all that's invested. As Mark said to me before, actually, as Mark said to me yesterday, sometimes it's just better to take those ecos on the head and get the full buy in the next. So, potentially allowing that 11-11 scoreline to come out for Nonames. Look at that. That's the first time I've seen somebody crawl around a corner and get a double kill. What is going on? He's got an M1 carbine in hand, but Replan claims the kill with the Gewehr. Takes the eco on the head. Well, Endpoint have no intention of doing that. Already claiming a 3 versus 2. A very positive position for them to be in, despite the fact that they've lost the A bomb site. They invested 2 tokens and they've already gotten 3 out of this round, plus taken some away from the Allied side. Oh, you don't hit that shot onto Niso. Now it's a 1v3. KN is in such a bad position.
Yeah, they should know that he's in towards the building. Definitely being spotted now. Just about retrieving the bomb. He may actually be able to cross over and put this down on the site if he wants to do so, but he does want to try and force the fight and connects the first one on towards Replan. Having both the sniper and the Thompson now gives him the long and the close range capabilities. And now with the bomb planted, the timer going to begin to work against that Axis side. KN, will he be able to pull this one off? It'd be a massive clutch indeed. Brings it down to the 1v1 now. Only Cinder remains with the scoped weapon up close as well. It's not really ideal. KN had the read perfectly, but it's not going to work in his favor. Cinder jumping up manages to clutch it out. You can see how happy Mark is about that one. A nice little smirk on his face.
Look at this crawling around the corner. I don't know how he gets away with that. That's never in a month of Sundays. But yeah, you could. It's your guess what he was typing in chat there when we went to the player cam.
I have no idea.
We'll leave that up to the viewer to determine. We probably can't read it out on air, even if we could see it.
Probably just saying nice try.
Yeah, Mark's that kind of guy. Mark's a respectful guy. Well,
that's really his role on this team. He's the person that you send up when you need someone to do an interview.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
got the personality for it.
And of course, we'll probably get an interview going if Endpoint does win. We'll get one either way. But if Endpoint wins, I suppose it will be Mark. Hard to
be Niso from the other side.
Oh, most certainly. But it's hard to keep a leash on Mark when you get him in an interview, and indeed in a game as well. As you saw him having some massive impact in the previous round. This time it's caused you to open things up. Nice nade being returned by Sin. That's going to do some heavy damage. Oh, it's a little bit too deep actually. As Mark on the bomb side is being helped out a little bit by Sin on the double with the scope. Replan there as well. That double scope setup. It's actually a triple scope setup, and it works. I mean, say what you will about 2 scopes. I don't think 3 scopes is ever practical, but somehow they're doing it.
Yeah, they
somehow, some way.
So that wasn't too big of a deal. I guess once you have the Thompson as well, it's okay.
Yeah.
You just have the sniper to work with as well as a reserve. You can keep the Thompson as your primary weapon.
For sure.
But yeah, 13-10 now. Nonames, we've seen them pick up those couple of rounds just a moment ago, but it seems like Endpoint now, since winning that eco, are able to get themselves back into control. It's not a great investment at all from Nonames. Couple of carbines, couple of shotguns, and one Grease gun to be kept into the hands of KN. It's really not a great investment. This should be a 14th round for Endpoint, but let's see, because we know damage can still be done with these weaker weapons, and already they've managed to close in the distance, making their way up close on A. Niso gonna open things up with the shotgun. Reflexer, he could definitely follow in his teammate's footsteps, because up close with that sniper against the shotgun, he could be in a lot of trouble, but it's not even needed. KN comes in and shuts them down. Mara gonna take down Cinda at the broken wall. And now it's a 3v2 favoring Nonames.
And the thing is, I really don't think Mark is going to check his close left to see.
He jinxed it.
Never mind. He's taking down Mara anyways. 2 versus 2. Really didn't think he was going to check that, but all right, Mark's aware as he comes around the bomb site. There's an opening kill, taking down KN, putting it into a 1 versus 1. It's Niso and Mark, the 2 captains of sort. I'm not sure if they're actually captains, but they're certainly the figureheads of their teams. The shotgun in play on Niso, though, that's going to be deadly at close range. And down goes Mark, and up goes the scoreline of Nonames. Now sitting 13-11. And a strong lead for Endpoint, starting to close in a little bit. Niso picking up the scope. Zingini as well on the scope. Double scope, allied side. I have no idea what's going on anymore. They are cheap, though. 5 tokens, so
I wouldn't call that cheap.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, it's only a small amount more expensive than the machine guns, right? But it's certainly cheaper than it was. But still, 5 tokens to invest into that, to have 2 of them, it's very, very risky. It really limits your ability as well if you're buying that with just a pistol. Now, obviously, Niso has got the Thompson as a backup, but I feel like 1 is enough.
Well, they saved 1 over, so I suppose it's not really too big of a deal. And in this round, anyway, it seems to be working out in their favor because it is a 4v3. Early exchange is going to favor the No-Name side. And looking to try and pressure over towards B. With that smoke down, if they wanted, they could just cross over. They, I guess pretty soon will be able to get that info that no one's currently positioned on the bomb site. It's Replan, who's the closest player, up on the back steps, and Cinda on mid does manage to get himself a bit of info. Spots out, I believe that was Niso making his way back around into the spawn. So with that, I think they probably will begin to rotate back over towards B eventually, but as we can see, Mara, he's pushed up, already taking the kill onto KazJ. Replan probably not going to be able to find too much from the back of those stairs, but the bomb is still yet to be planted. That nade coming in, able to go ahead and at least slow it down for a couple of seconds, but really to no avail. It is Cinda that remains in the 1-on-4. Even with that first initial kill to be found now, everyone on No-Name is going to be able to go ahead and just focus in on the position that they know he's coming from. He gets shut down, and it's 12 for No-Names. 1 round in the difference, Mitch. It's staying basically as close as it could.
Yeah, indeed, and it's nice to see a close game like this coming out. We know Endpoint are fully focused here. No-Names as well, really trying to prove themselves. Both of these teams found success in their first group game. 1-0 for both of them. So it is going to be just down to the wire, I believe, here. Certainly by the looks of things, is Endpoint going to be picking up far too many shotguns. 2 in play. Mark and Kostja. Well, just Kostja now. Because there goes Mark blown up by a grenade. As they push towards this bomb site on B, that could be a lot of trouble on the opposite side of that smoke. Sind already coming in with 1. And he's got the shotty. That's going to really limit their ability to push in here. Replan taking the long-range fights and coming out on top. Oh, Mark just spotted out 1. I don't know if he noticed. As he takes a fight towards the bomb site, now his position is going to be known. He's not quite seeing that gun barrel, which is a little bit unfortunate as Sin takes down his teammate. He's all that's left of this offensive, and with the bomb dropped outside of the B bomb site, he has to go all the way around. 50 seconds, 1 kill. Will make it worthwhile because he's got that 1 token weapon, but he's not able to pick it up. And so a costly round for No-Names as they come out with only 6 tokens in total. The 1 for the kill and 1 bonus for everybody, as their loss bonus is non-existent right now.
And they are going to fully invest into this round, so if they don't manage to pull this one in their favor over on that No-Name side, then they'll be working with a similar investment into the round that follows. And of course, at that point, Endpoint, they would be on match point, or rather map point, because this is only the first of potentially 3 maps. Coastal being the map choice of No-Names. That's something that we definitely should reiterate, because it's looking good for Endpoint right now on the map choice of their opponents. Let's see, because there definitely is still a chance for No-Names to pull their way back into this one. It's 4 carbines, One grease gun. No utility currently in their possession, and Replin already able to open things up. Takes down Maricinda, not looking to try and shy away from the aggression either. Wants to continue to push forward, and he finds success off the back of it. It's Jazz who falls, and with a 5-on-3 now, Endpoint looking great to go ahead and bring this up to 15.
And this would be such a good round for Endpoint to actually win here. Axis side, 15-12 is a massive lead. Not one we see going awry all too often. It's hard enough to win 3 rounds in a row on the Allied side, but let alone when you know you have to, or the game's over. Every time you win a round, it just feels like another opportunity to lose. And look at this aggression coming through from Sind. He might just catch off KN over towards the garden. He's not quite going to do so. As isolation comes through with the statue, Replin taken down all alone, but the trades come in, leaving only Zinjini 1v4, and of course he's not going to be able to do that. That's just too much to ask from him. 15-12, 1 round remaining before Endpoint can claim a victory, and with Nonames 3 rounds behind at this point, it's going to be really hard for them to pick it up, especially if you look at their economy. They're playing with majority carbines right now if they want to have any shot at utility. They pick up 1 Tommy gun in the meantime. Niso on just 2 tokens does the same. Zinjini still has 1 in play. Didn't buy a smoke. Come on.
Yeah, that's strange. Still has a token, even if he himself doesn't know any useful smokes. Probably could have just given it to a teammate. So surprising, but let's see if they can make this one work. Nonames, can they keep themselves alive here in their own map choice? They're going to have to do so with what isn't really an optimal buy, but KN, he sheds the first blood, able to go ahead and open things up towards Syndic. Question as well being taken down low. Means for at least a couple of seconds he's going to be taken out of the action, forced to hang back until he does regen that HP. And with a second kill actually coming in for KN, things are looking really good for Nonames. Reflexer and Cinda already eliminated from this round.
Yeah, this is really nice grouping up towards that A bomb site, but KN's there all alone. That's the real problem at this point. The rest of his team haven't cleared out mid-house. They're not really able to help him. He's got to worry about pretty much every angle, which is just too much. They needed to push up there together. Cause just sitting down at the market is going to be able to come up behind them in due time. As they start to push over, he's been spotted out in the open, has to make a move, and unfortunate timing for him as he's going to be dropped. That's going to be Mark and Replan trying to clutch it out, but Replan's now all alone, Car 98K in hand, and he doesn't feel like risking those tokens. And take a look at the Axis economy. Remember, they're going to have 1 token loss bonus after this, so saving over that Car 98K in smoke could be huge. One thing though, Nonames lacked a left side mid smoke, which allows the peak to come through on mid to see if they're moving towards B or not. And so although Endpoint did lose the round, they had that little bit of an advantage, and that 1 token that was in play on Zinjini could have been very useful if he had bought up a smoke to use it.
I think I'd like to see them eco in this next round and focus on the one that comes up. We've seen them have success on that eco before. Maybe if they just try and get aggressive again, leave Replin back with the Car 98 to try and give them the long range cover, that could work out for sure. But I feel like if they buy into this one, then they're really going to be limiting themselves, because they're not really going to get another full investment with everything that they would like otherwise.
Yeah, for sure. Well, they could definitely play it as just the popcorn weapons and the Car 98. I wouldn't be surprised to see them even take a pause to think about this as to whether they want to get that investment in or not. Mark making that choice as we speak.
I think they've just called for a half investment, because they have at least kept, well, they've kept 1 token onto everyone. There was a couple people who had 2, able to spend that bit of excess. I was going to say cash, but it doesn't really make sense since they're tokens. But yeah, 15-13, it's a close game so far. Nonames, can they take 2 more in a row and send it into overtime is the question. Into this round, at least, they should have a little bit of an easier time than some of the previous ones, going up against the default weapons. Of course, Replan, though, with the Car 98, he wants to try and get work done, but as his teammates already begin to fall, they do not make it easy for him by any means.
And the aggression up mid not really helping out at all for the cause. Well, that was until Kostya was able to take down KN. Now that opens up the flank to come through from Ping Doggy, Mark Horner. There it is as he trades out his teammate Kostya, unfortunately. Just a second too late to save him. He's going to be shot from all angles, and Ginny coming out on the flank here with an STG. It's all under Replan, really.
I think he just saves this again, in all honesty. There's not really too much else that can be done. Wouldn't be able to buy the car 98 properly into this next round, only getting the 2 tokens, I believe. So it's definitely the best option, but he has made his presence known as well by throwing down that smoke. The question is, do Nonames want to risk hunting this one down? I guess maybe they could send out Jazz. He only has a carbine, also has 3 tokens in the reserve. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think Nonames may just allow for him to save this one over. But actually, yeah, Jazz is going to be up close now. Spotted him out. And Replan being trapped in towards his position, realized it's time to go ahead and back out. Jumps out the window, repositions himself. And he should be able to survive over now. Gets a little bit awkward, but gets himself into safety. And there you have it. Round number 30 now is going to be commencing. And this is it. This decides if Endpoint are able to take themselves the victory here on this map, or if Nonames are going to pull it into overtime.
Yeah, indeed it does. A close attempt there for Nonames to rob that Kar 98K away from Replan, but somehow he dips, ducks, dodges, weaves, dips, ducks, and dodges away from those bullets.
Yeah.
Dodgeball semi-reference. Jazz, what is that? Mark and Sind are already out of the game. This could be an overtime, Dean. It's a 3v5. Fantastic opening nade by the ex-Fade Esports player. A shot to be hit by Replan, but a few more are needed. This is a very slow push towards B. They're isolated, 1 by 1, pushing a Kar 98K. Replan spotted out one more, not able to connect the shot, but now it's only a one-man disadvantage. Problem is they've given over a Kar 98 to Niso, but he's gone. Nice nade by Reflexer to trade things back. As Kostya peeking around the bomb site, trying to spot out ahead. There it is. He knows there's a player there. Surely he's not going to go for that kill with the Luger. He's not a madman. He knows he
steal for that.
He knows he can't be insta headshotted, right? That's a Thompson. So it's fine to be peeking that, making sure that he's there. And now he's going to be holding down the stairs. He's got that shotty in hand. They are making their way towards this A bomb site. So this is Kostya's time to shine. If he wins this 1v2 on this bomb site, he has won out the game for Endpoint, the first map of the best of 3, and will be over to Manor momentarily. If not, Nonames will bring us to an overtime. The shotgun holding down, not able to hit the first shot. That's dangerous now. He's got to connect the next. Surely, no, it's not going to hit either as Mar gets that. The bomb plant goes down, and now it's all on the Reflexer. He's got to find a 1v2. Nice shot hit. That's KN out of the equation. He's only got to pick up one more. He knows the player's on the bomb site. He's waiting for him to move at all. 42 seconds. Eventually, impatience gets the better of him. The head barely visible. It's a hard shot to hit for Reflexer. He's got to make a decision. Does he go for this? Does he wait for the next peak? It's 32 seconds on the clock. That clock ticking down slower and slower. Making a move eventually onto the bomb site. It's only one shot to close this out. He can't connect it, though. He's low on health. 22 seconds. Has to make a move soon. He spots him coming over, and what a shot. The no-scope. The hip-fire STG shot to close things out. 16-14 as the defuse comes through. Down to the wire is right. What a close way to finish things off, and what a stylish way. That was risky.
I almost jumped off my chair, Mitch. I jumped because I had no idea who was going to win that.
That was Reflexer coming in with that massive last 2K, closing the map. Like, that literally came down to a 1 versus 1 for overtime. Beautifully played by both teams, and a great view of Mark Horner's tank top.
Yeah, his
modifications.
Improvised one.
Exactly, an improv tank top. That's the end of map number 1 there on Coastal, and hopefully that sets the scene for the next map over on Manor, where Endpoint are going to be taking on Nonames once more. And if they win one more map out of the next 2, they claim a victory. So it's an uphill battle for Nonames, but after that really strong performance in the first map, they're going to be confident coming over to Manor.
Yeah, I think the main issue is, of course, with Coastal being the map choice of Nonames. That was probably the one they were expecting to pick up coming into Manor now. I think they could definitely struggle a little bit, but I definitely think it's still going to be a close game. I don't think we're going to see a wash. We can see, just in terms of the firepower, these two teams quite evenly matched.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to be going into that map in about 5 minutes or so. Give the players time to calm down. Give us time to calm down after that 1v2. And we'll catch you guys in a couple of minutes for map number 2, Manor House. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back after the break.